In the early days, a water service had been organised by Mr A.B. Smythe and Mr Cunningham, but by the 1930s there were numerous complaints about the shortage of water in summer, particularly in the camping ground along the foreshore. In 1938, the new reticulated water supply was opened by the Minister of Lands, and at the same time it was promised that a mile of the main Bridport Street would be sealed. Even in the early 1940s, there had been little development of the Brid River site. Only a small jetty and old storage sheds existed. Compare this with the present day, which shows the same area a hive of commercial activity, including scallop processing, substantial wharves, and extensive shipbuilding sheds, largely due to the initiatives of the Barnett and Bales families. A substantial fishing fleet, the headquarters of the roll-on roll-off Bass Strait Freight that provides a regular cargo and passenger service to Flinders Island, adds to the activity. Images in the 1940s and 50s show how popular Bridport had become as a holiday destination. The annual holiday activities on Eastman's Beach and fire brigade competition in the main street near the hall. The Bridport foreshore has seen some dramatic changes over the last 100 years, particularly the gradual removal of native vegetation. However, some man-made structures have remained, like this concrete retaining wall at Eastman's Beach. The change rooms have gone, but we have new seats and handrails. This rare colour film, taken by Mr Waddell in 1947, gives us a good idea of life in Bridport at that time, including new industries, a trip through Bridport, a look at the fishing and boat building by the Barnett family, as well as a regatta at Eastman's Beach. Finally, Bill Lovegrove showing his axeman skills. This 1959 town map shows just how far Bridport had extended to the north, along and behind the foreshore. Most of the buildings were holiday shacks. In 1912, new blocks of land along the foreshore had been surveyed and were offered for sale. Upset price for 1 acre was £15, but most sold for £28 to £40. Even as late as 1934, a quarter-acre blocks were offered at £15 but none sold. Today, a quarter-acre block would sell for over $450,000. Recently, a 1 acre block sold for $2 million. By 1950, the Bridport Guest House was now a licensed hotel, with the construction of a bar at the front of the building. Eastman's Beach in the 1950s. Christmas New Year crowds were substantial. It's interesting to note that beach fashions were somewhat different from today. Post-World War II, the Tasmanian government, under the control of the Agricultural Bank, drained and cleared extensive areas in the Waterhouse area as part of a soldier settlement project. At the time, it was criticised by some as a Premier's folly, a waste of money. The land was of poor quality, swampy and subject to sand drifts. 23 soldier settlement farms were established, bringing young families into the Bridport community. The Corney family had lived at Campania, living in a house with no electricity and no modern conveniences. On establishing themselves at Waterhouse, they were in a new heaven, with electricity, a new house and farm. These new families brought a new energy to Bridport. They contributed in many ways to the development of the town, including building the community club and a significant increase in the school's population. As part of the Waterhouse Soldier Settlement Scheme, developments were commenced at Waterhouse to address the problem of sand drifts and soil deficiencies. This included stabilisation of sand dunes that were encroaching on newly established farmlands. Under the guidance of David Steen and local manager Bill Lovegrove, large areas of active sand dunes were stabilised. Another step in the advancement of the North East was taken on February the 24th, 1953, when the Minister for External Affairs, the Right Honourable R.G. Casey, declared the North Eastern Aerodrome open. This saw the culmination of a plan started in 1947 by Merv McLennan of Scottsdale to provide an aerodrome for the district. Two of Bridport's local personalities in the 1960s were Dodger Squires and Bert Eastman. Dodger, Nee Osmond, was a strong supporter of Bridport and an active member of charitable and civic organisations. Bert Eastman was a relatively new retiree who saw in Bridport a relaxed lifestyle, beautiful environment, quiet, clean with sea views, and a friendly atmosphere. Dodger recorded many of the town's early history in a comprehensive photo album. Bert, an Anzac survivor, built a state-of-the-art home with extensive gardens attracting many visitors. This short film clip, taken in the 1950s, captures some of the mood of Bridport.